Hi, I'm Pastor Richard Demsick. I'm the missionary pastor at 923, here today to talk to you again about the life of Jesus. Jesus always tells the best stories. Last week, we talked about the story that he shared about the vineyard owner who'd been rejected over and over, kept sending messengers over and over, and finally his son who was killed, trying to reach out and pursue the people. And that God is trying to pursue you. Today, Jesus continues on telling that story. The reading comes right after, and you can tell it's a continuation by the theme. And he even continues to paint the picture clearer and clearer of God and his relation to man. If you want to know how man relates to God and how God relates to man, read into these stories of Jesus because they really have a lot of wisdom to share. Today's is Matthew 22, 1 through 14. And it's the story of a king who's throwing a party. He's throwing a party and he invites all the people that you'd expect to be invited to the party. The royalty, the chosen, blessed, rich people. But none of them show up. They don't respond to the invitation. So the king doesn't cancel the party, he just sends out more invitations. This time, he says, let's invite anybody. Anybody who will come and have a good time, who will come to the party and party with me. And tradition even dictates that likely they even gave them clothes. They said, let's dress them up, let's have a fun time, and let's invite anybody. And this is a picture that Jesus is painting to show that it's not the people that you'd expect. It's not the people that are naturally gifted, born into wealthy families, got it all, that Jesus is looking after. It's not that God doesn't accept those people, but typically the people that God searches for is the people that are the downtrodden, the lost. I think of that wonderful poem, The Shadows of the Colossus. It's the Statue of Liberty's poem of giving me you're tired, you're weary, you're downtrodden, the refuse of the world. We've lost some of that visionary, not only in the country, but the church, where we understand that that's what the church is all about. The church is about the misfits. If we're a church like Jesus' church, we're a church of misfits. The weird, as strange as a collection of people. And if you think about that, you think, how comfortable are prostitutes and tax collectors in our churches? I ran into a couple one time and they hadn't been to church in a long time, and I said, hey, where have you been? I really miss you. And they said, oh, I'm sorry, we just have so many bad things going on in our life right now that we just don't feel like we can come to church. I thought that was so sad. Because if we were the church that Jesus intended us to be, they would die to come to church when things were going bad, when they were making bad decisions, when life was really not working for them. That's when they'd say, hey, we need to get to church. And I don't think of it as a negative reflection on that couple. I think of it as a negative reflection on the church. That we're not living like Jesus. We're not living according to that call. Because if we are, we'd go out, we'd take the people that are downtrodden and misfit and rejected, and we'd embrace them. And I want you to know that God embraces you. That maybe church isn't a perfect reflection, but Jesus does embrace you. He accepts you. He loves you. He's pursuing you, and He's inviting you. He's inviting you not only to a party, but even better, He's inviting you to be part of His family. He's inviting you to be a son and daughter of God. And whether you've been rejected before by other people, maybe your mother or father who should have offered this unconditional love rejected you. Or maybe you were someone who's been married and served your spouse faithfully, but they left you and they divorced you. Jesus will never forsake you or abandon you. And Jesus knows what it's like to be rejected Himself. And He's today sending you an invitation. I want you to think about that. I want you to picture yourself opening a mailbox, reaching your hand in and seeing this fancy invitation. You open it up and it's an invitation from God saying, hey, I want you to be part of my family. I want you to come and join the celebration where water is being turned into wine, where we're dancing and singing and having fellowship together. We're having communion. We're celebrating our life together as friends, brothers, and sisters in a family where there is no rejection. Now, to do that, we have to take on that robe of righteousness. We have to accept God's call to our life. But it's a fun call. It's a wonderful, life-giving call. And if we do accept that invitation, we're going to live a little bit more like Jesus. Please like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'd love to celebrate with you Sunday at 11.